Good evening. The regular meeting of the Acton Agua Dulce School District Board of Trustees is called to order on May 14th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Can I get roll call, please?
Is that good?
Mask on here.
May's here.
Brianna Taxoni here. I'll go ahead and move in the agenda. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
There are no changes to the May 14, 2026 agenda for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion? Call for question. All those in favor?
Mask on it.
Jesus, aye. May's aye.
Brianna Taxoni, aye, with one absent. 2A, public participation.
Not at this time.
Thank you. 3A, closed session discussion items. We may discuss conference with labor negotiators, public employee discussion, discipline, dismissal, release, conference with legal counsel and or student matters. B, adjourn to closed session. I'll move. Can I get a second? Discussion? Call for question. All those in favor?
Mask on it.
Jesus, aye. May's aye.
Brianna Taxoni, aye. We are adjourned to closed session at 6:32. The regular board meeting of May 14th, 2026 will reconvene at 7:30 p.m. For a flag salute, we have Silas that's going to lead us in the flag salute. Thank you, Silas. 4B, the civility statement states, communicate clearly and concisely with respect for others' time, listen objectively, carefully considering the opinions of others, understand the counterproductive effects of disruptive, demeaning, and intimidating behaviors, understand and respect district policies and procedures, respect the district's rich history and the efforts of others who have served in the past. 5A, report of action taken in closed session. The board did take action in closed session, so I will read that out now. The board took action in closed session by a vote of 4-0-0 with 1 absent. To accept the settlement agreement case number 25-STCV-32822 for employee number 63952. The board has unanimously given the superintendent a satisfactory evaluation. His salary will increase by 2.5% from $268,221 to $274,926.53. There are no other changes to the superintendent's contract. 6A, public comments, recognition, and reports.
Not at this time, President Taxoni.
Thank you. 7A, board member vacancy, presentation AADUSD procedure for filling a board vacancy. Dr. Sahakian?
Thank you. So before we patch in our legal counsel, Mr. Ron Wankart from AALRR, we have a quick housekeeping item. With our newly integrated system for our board meetings, board agendas and so forth, so on that you see on the screen that's moved over to Diligent, we are, with our fabulous IT team, we are looking to make sure that those who are with us virtually could hear presentations because Mr. Wankart will be with us virtually. At this time, viewers online, you will not be able to hear Mr. Wankart, but you will be able to see the content of the presentation. Tomorrow, by tomorrow evening, we always upload the videos, and if you want to revert back, you'll hear both the content as well as his comments. So that is being worked out with a new platform, and so we should have that corrected soon enough. I want to provide that housekeeping item beforehand. So with the pending board vacancy, Mr. Ron Wankart will be with us virtually to walk us through procedures for filling the board vacancy and take any questions from our trustees. Mr. Wankart.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you. I hope you can hear me okay. So let me start by saying that the process for filling a vacancy, it was governed by the Education Code and the board bylaws. Whenever a board member files a resignation with the county superintendent of schools, it creates a vacancy on the board, and the board must then either call an election or appoint someone to fill the vacancy. So the process begins with a written resignation filed with the county superintendent. So as I understand it, the written resignation has been filed. So that starts the 60-day period to complete the filling of the vacancy. It starts from the time that the written resignation is filed with the county superintendent. If the board fails to take any action to fill the vacancy within the 60-day period, then the county superintendent of schools takes over and calls an election. If a person is appointed, they would serve until the next regularly scheduled election in November of this year. If you make an appointment, there is a process for overturning the process by filing a petition within 30 days. So that 1.5% of the registered voters of the trustee area at the time of the last regular election for board members, that was the threshold number of signatures that are needed for the petition. As part of the appointment process, board bylaw 9223 requires the board to advertise in the local media that there's a vacancy in one of the trustee areas and provide information to the public about the process for filling the vacancy. So that summary there, I'm just kind of hitting the highlights, but this written summary covers it in a little more detail. So then after you get the applications, if you decide to go the appointment route, then 2 board members can screen the applications and interview can be scheduled. The interviews have to take place in an open and public meeting. The whole process has to be in public. And then you select a candidate by majority vote. So it would take 3 votes to appoint somebody. So 3 of the 4 remaining board members. The candidates have to be 18 years of age, a citizen of the state of California, a registered voter, a resident of the trustee area, and not disqualified from holding civil office, which means they can't be convicted of certain crimes, mainly felonies. And if you go the appointment route, then you're required to post notices of the provisional appointment in the local newspaper and in 3 locations. Once the appointment is made, then the individual has all the powers of a board member, unless there's it's overturned by the petition that I mentioned. As I mentioned, the other alternative is to call election. Since you're within the range for the November election, if you decide to go the election route, the seat would remain vacant, and you would let the term run out, and then you'd have an election in November for that seat in that trustee area. So that's kind of an overview of the process. With that, I'll just open it up to questions and see if anybody has any questions.
Lester?
I have a question. Thank you, Mr. Weingart, for being with us tonight. Come November, we're going to have 3 spots open. If nobody applies for these spots, can you tell us what happens when there's not enough members on the board?
Well, if nobody runs in one of the trustee areas, then it would be declared vacant, and then you'd appoint somebody to fill that vacancy. If there's 3 vacancies, then it goes to the county board, and the county board then runs this school district until all the positions are filled on the board. That rarely happens. I mean, you could have a situation where nobody runs in one trustee area, but it's pretty unusual to have it happen in more than one trustee area at a given time.
Thank you. So I encourage all the viewers and the people who live in Acton who wants to be involved in the school district to step up and either put your name in the hat, because we don't want the county to run our district here. So just be aware of that. 'Cause I know when I applied, there was only like 2 people. So there's not too many people who want to do it, but I encourage you, if you want to be involved in the district, step forward.
If you appoint somebody, it has to be from that district, right? You can't appoint somebody from another district?
Correct. It has to be from that trustee area. So you check where the person lives, when they apply, to make sure that they live within that trustee area.
Thank you.
Okay, so to summarize, we have 60 days from the time that the resignation was submitted to the county, not from the date of the resignation, correct?
Correct.
Has it been submitted to the county already?
Yes, we verified that.
So our 60 days is already counting.
That's correct. Correct, Mr. Winkart?
Yes. Yes, I don't have the exact date it was filed right in front of me, but it would start from that date when it was filed.
So 60 days from last week. And can you get me that date that it was actually filed last week? That would be great, so we know when our 60 days is up. And that's if we're going to appoint. If we decided not to appoint and do an election, in the past, the election was going to cost us something like $40,000 because it was going to have to be a special election. Since we have an election coming up, we don't have to have a special election, and if we chose the election route, I'm not saying that's what we're doing, but if we chose the election route instead of appointing, we're good on that timeline and we're not under the 60 days?
Well, you have to call the election within the 60 days. But if you call
So
an
we
election,
can't just use I'm so sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you call an election, it has to be within 60 days, or else the county superintendent will call an election, which is basically the same result. But, it's typically the board wants to make that decision. And then the election will be held in November with the regular election, so there won't be any additional cost.
Okay.
A lot of times when it happens in midterm, you have to call a special election, and that's very expensive. So a lot of boards then decide to appoint because that cost can be a big hit on your budget. But in this case, there won't be a hit on your budget because it'll just be with the regular election.
Okay, so in this case, in the past, it's been a no-brainer that we're going to appoint because we don't want to cost the district money for a special election. So in this case, we do have an actual choice. Do we want to put in for an election within the next 60 days and have an election and just sit without a board member until December? Or do we appoint, and then because we're appointing, this person would have to put their papers in and join in the election because they have to run at the next election, whether their term is up or not. This term it was going to be up at this next election. So if we appoint, the person has to run. If we choose an election, then they would have to run regardless. So that is something as a board that we're going to have to discuss because it's not a no-brainer this time because it's not costing us money.
The other thing we have to look at is we're off in July, so we have 45 days unless we do a special.
Unless we do
board
special
meeting.
meetings. So we do need to make this an item for discussion for our next meeting.
Can we
For our
do
ma-
that? Can we do that now?
I would like to not do it now because Ken isn't here. I would like to wait till we have a full board. And it's not up for a vote we can discuss it now, absolutely, but we're not voting on anything because it's not a vote in our agenda already. So we cannot actually do a for real vote. We can discuss all day long if you want to, that's totally fine.
I would definitely encourage you to appoint, to give someone the opportunity
Yeah.
to see what it's all about and just have more time to gain interest in the position.
One more question. Is there a specific timeline? Can we do it within the 45 days or we have to wait for close to the 60 days for that election or for that
No, you can
appointment?
do it in less than 60 days. You just have to complete the process within the 60 days. So if you do it within 30 days or 40 days or 45 days, that's fine.
And for the record, it was filed with the county on May 5th.
How long do we have to have it out in the public for before we can do that? Since we have to.
Well, there's no specific timeline, but normally most boards will do it for like 2 weeks, maybe between 2 and 3 weeks to let the public know.
So my next question is, since our trustee areas are so new, is there an easy link on our website to our trustee area maps so people know what trustee area there are. This is our first vote and our first board election and our first anything working within our trustee areas.
There is a link with trustee area maps, but I know it's kind of embedded into our website. I could work with IT very closely so that we could actually have it at the forefront of our website, so it's easier navigation
That would
for
be,
our-
that
our
would be
community members.
fantastic. And off the subject, if we could have the link to our board meetings, I know when you go in there, you have to click on a couple different things to get to this live stream video. If we could have that on the main page as well, just a suggestion, not a directive.
Some districts have it as an icon for board meetings and agendas right on the front page, so we could take a look at that
That
as
would-
well, so it could just a quick.
That would be great. I know
Hit.
a couple people have reached out and said it was really hard to find and they missed the meeting or they couldn't find it, so they'd missed the meeting. So that would be great. Any other discussion on this subject before we let Ron go?
I'm done for me.
Autumn, did you have any questions or anything?
If we were to vote, it would be May 29th,
May 28th.
28th, the next board. meeting.
So that would just be us
Oh.
voting on, are we going to
Appoint or do
appoint
election,
or election?
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else? Ron, thank you so much for being here and always giving us the best advice and information. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. My pleasure. You all have a good evening. Thank you.
You too. Okie dokie. Moving on, AADUSD representative? Thank you for being here. B, CSCA representative? No? C, student representative to the board.
Good evening, everyone. So nice to see all you guys. So to start off, Little Owls, the TK and kindergarten roundup was very well attended both days, and there was around 50 new student enrollment packets turned in. Moving on to Meadowlark, the PTO Coin Wars Challenge just ended. We will soon know which grade level had won. April 29th and 30th, the fourth graders did an amazing performance of Gold Dust or Bust, and it was very well attended. Third and fourth graders are in the second week of state testing. They should finish tomorrow, May 15th. Looking at both campuses, students in TK through fourth had just an amazing spring concert last night. Thank you so much to Mrs. Benatar for preparing the students. On both campuses, open house is next week, May 21st. Now last Friday night, next Friday night, May 26th at 5:30 p.m. at Meadowlark is family night, the last family night. So be sure to attend that one. It's the end of the school year. And this month is the last attendance contest, so we'll see who wins that. Now, I'm going to skip over High Desert because we have a separate presentation later. Moving on to Vasquez, state testing's finally finished, and AP and LPAC testing finishes tomorrow. Yay. Saturday, May 2nd, ASB organized a very successful car show. Also, May 2nd, our Visual and Performing Arts Club attended the Getty Center, and Friday, May 18th, they put on a very funny talent show. Now, this Saturday, May 16th, is prom night at the LA Zoo. Also, May 20th, the Science National Honor Society members will be at Little Owls to do some science experiments with the kids. Also, May 20th, at 6 p.m. is our annual awards event, Night of the Stars, so feel free to join Vasquez in recognizing student achievement. Moving on to athletics, softball's had an outstanding season. What's new? They're amazing. They're attending their first playoff game tonight in Irvine. I don't know how are they? They lost? Wow. Well, at least it wasn't so bad. They played hard. But this was their 6th year in a row as league champs, and their record was 9-1. So good for them. Today, baseball's opening at playoffs. I don't know where. I don't know. Hopefully they won. boys volleyball is playing their CIF championship game at Irvine also. This is the first Vasquez boys volleyball team to qualify for the championship game in over a decade, so we're really proud of them. We've had 9 of our track and field athletes qualify for the CIF preliminary, and swim had a great season. We're still counting how many athletes qualified for the CIF swim preliminaries. Wrestling just started. I have heard really great things. I've just heard like people are like, oh my gosh, it's so fun and we're so excited. But who are we going to play against? Okay, I don't know, but I guess we're going to find out. Also, thank you to IT and maintenance departments for collaborating to add 2 additional modern cameras to our campus to support overall campus safety. Want to give a big shout out to Miss McWilson and Miss Emma for supporting this district's achievements in art and music. Thank you.
Thank you, Autumn. D, superintendent report.
I just have to say, I never get a round of applause ever in the 5 years I've been here. Just going to throw that out there, and if you wish to, feel free. I'll accept it. Anyhow, thank you. Teacher Appreciation Week was May 4th through May 8th, with National Teacher Day on Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. We also celebrate our classified school employees during the week of May 17th through the 23rd. Thank you, incredible teachers and our wonderful classified staff, for your essential contributions to the district, and you help fulfill, and you don't just help, you go above and beyond in fulfilling our district's vision for all our students. Thank you. On May 6th, the district office hosted an all-district staff barbecue at Vasquez in honor of our incredible staff and for their dedication to our students and our families. In addition, and you see up there, she's beaming, we celebrated Miss Carrie Owens as our district's 2026 Teacher of the Year nominee. The 2026 LA County Teachers of the Year is an honors competition to spotlight teaching excellence and exemplary professionalism in public education. Ms. Owens loves being able to connect and collaborate with students, families, and colleagues. She also loves being able to utilize her creativity in this profession. We celebrate her formally at our September board meeting. Thank you. Next, last school year, we introduced presentations from each of our school sites as part of my superintendent's report. Back in April, Principal Dr. Smith at Vasquez presented exciting highlights from her campus. Tonight, we are pleased to showcase High Desert, their successes, projects, and what lies ahead, not only in completion of the school year, but beyond. So at this juncture, I'd like to call up Principal Michelle Van Norno. Was that for my report or was that for Michelle? I just want to clarify. It's probably for Michelle. The floor is yours.
I have the pressure, they're timing me, so. I will try to talk fast. So ultimately, I hope that all of you know how proud I am of our campus. I love that when we put the call out, people show up. And so I just want to thank everyone that showed up tonight. This is what events look like at High Desert, and I'm mostly proud of that, the community that we're building, and that everybody feels welcome and that they are here tonight with us. There we go. All right, so as our journey begins, so the theme this year was finding joy in the journey. And as our journey begins, we look at enrollment. We are in an upward trend, which is really awesome. So this year we have 336 students. So we've been steadily increasing, and we're anticipating that will continue into next year. So we're excited about that. Similar to Vasquez, we are very boy heavy. So there's lots of energy on our campus. For mathematics, state testing, we went up pretty significantly last year. The part that we are actually most proud of is that bottom. They now show growth. So 65.9% of our students improved a whole level. So the state only measures those that are met or exceeded, but we also want to look at if you're going from far below and you're moving up a level, we're heading in the right direction. And so that represents really what's going on at the school, is all of that improvement. And so the majority of our students are making big improvement. But we do have some room to grow because we are still below the standard. Supposed to go the other way. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'll get it. We came up, things that we focused on, we're working on emergency drills. The cutest part, we now have 2 teachers that have class bunnies, and even the bunny was safely evacuated this year, so that was pretty fun. For English language arts, we have the same huge growth. Even though we're still in the yellow, we increased significantly. And again, 71% of our students raised themselves at least a level. So if this continues, that number at or above is pretty close to going, where we want it to go. So that's exciting. This really is our counseling team impact. We now truly have tiered levels of support. Our counseling team is able to work through with conflict resolution and restorative practices. It doesn't have to not everything has to go straight to the principal, and it makes a big difference with rapport with students and rapport with the campus and student pride on the campus. And so you can see our suspension rates have continued to go down. It did have an uptick. It actually had an uptick of 2 students. So it looks like it went up, and it seems like a lot, but it's just 2 students. So. But cut in half. Last year was the first year we had a full counseling team, and it was already cut in half. So that's a pretty big impact. And then with that, I want to call up Alejandra. Are you ready? Alejandra is going to share her success story with you guys.
So, good evening, Acton Agua Dulce School District Board members. My name is Alejandra. During the 2024 and 2025 school year, I came to High Desert from a different school where fighting was normal. People were constantly being mean, and arguments would start over nothing. That environment made it really hard to grow or feel safe. And honestly, I was starting to go down the wrong path. I shared a lot with my behavior and respect for others. But once I came to High Desert School, everything changed. Because of Ms. Van Orman, Ms. Zuli, Ms. Timor, Ms. Gustine, and my mom, I've been able to turn things around. They didn't just tell me to do better, they actually helped me learn how to do better. They helped me change the way I speak, the way I react, and the choices I make. I used to get into arguments, be disrespectful, and act without thinking. Now I work hard every day to be respectful and make better decisions. I'm especially grateful to Ms. Zuli because she taught me how not to react for everything emotionally. She taught me how to make better choices, how to choose positive friendships, and how to set boundaries. Those are things I will use for the rest of my life. I'm also grateful to Ms. Van Orman. She holds me accountable if I cross the line. She talks to me about my actions and makes sure I face the consequences, but in a way that helps me learn and grow. What really makes High Desert different is that the staff doesn't wait until things get out of control. When something small happens, they step in right away before it becomes something bigger. They support students, help us reflect, and teach us tools to handle situations before they turn into bullying or fights. 2 years later, I can proudly say they never gave up on me. They stayed patient, communicated clearly, followed through, and made sure I didn't fall through the cracks. Because of the support I received from my mom, Ms. Van Orman, Ms. Zuli, Ms. Gustine, and Ms. Seymour, I've become a better version of myself. Thank you for your time.
I pretty much could end there. Thank you, Alejandra. And we are very proud of her and all that she has accomplished, and know that she is headed to Vasquez on the right track. So chronic absenteeism is something that we've really been working on this year, specifically with independent study coming up and having the independent study options to do single-day independent studies. So you can see we've steadily been working on chronic absenteeism, but the bottom one, just so you know, that's our number for this year. We're going to go from 26 last year to 1.57 chronic absenteeism rate. So That's pretty significant. It's kind of a big deal. So I just want to thank our teachers. Really, they're the ones, and Miss Monique, and now Miss Corinne Bailey. There's a lot of hard work that goes into that to keeping kids caught up. But that's a pretty significant number. And I'm just going to put a plug in there. I'm hoping we can use that dollar amount connected to keep our counselors. So keep that in mind. We're raising our own money to pay for our counseling team. So we've also been really focused on attendance with our attendance plan, including Pizza with the Principal, that has been rewarding students with 100% in-person attendance. So we're still really celebrating. Independent study is helping us recoup ADA money, but it is no substitute for being in person and hearing the lessons from the teacher, and so we're still aiming to increase that. We also brought in Drug Awareness Month, and we had Drug Free World give presentations, and it was a pretty moving presentation for our students. For this next section, I'm going to go through it after, but I want to invite up our students to speak. So we're going to start with our youngest student. This student we're going to recognize is Lex Ramirez, and he actually was our district spelling bee winner. So he gets a double recognition tonight as the spelling bee winner, and then also he's going to speak to us about 5th grade.
I am Lex, and I'm going to tell you about a little bit about what I learned in 5th grade. So in ELA, we mostly learned about Medal of Honor recipients like Mary Edwards Walker, who was a nurse during the Civil War. She saved 6,000 soldiers, and she was the only woman to receive the Medal of Honor. And we also had to write important things like persuasive essays about turning an abandoned pool into a skate park. And in history, we learned about early English settlements like Roanoke. It was founded in 1585 by John White to be a military fort for Sir Walter Raleigh. And when John White went to get supplies in Britain, he came back and he found no one left, only the word Croatoan carved on a tree. And the Revolutionary War, we learned about its battles like Lexington and Concord, which was the first one that was fought in people's backyards, and the Battle of Saratoga, which was when France decided to help fight against Britain, and the Battle of Yorktown when Britain surrendered against U.S. And in math, we learned about formulas like area equals length times width and volume equals length times width times height, and how to multiply and divide fractions and how to do it all with decimals. We also learned things in science like photosynthesis, like when trees absorb water and sunlight to turn into oxygen and remove carbon dioxide. We also learned that the Earth rotates, and each month there's a different constellation. We learned about the most visible, the most popular one, Orion, which is a man that looks like he's fighting a bull with his 3 dogs. And in PLTW, we learned about how our body works, like the circulatory system, which is our heart that pumps blood, that helps us that pumps blood through our vessels, and the respiratory system, which is our lungs breathing in oxygen and pulling out carbon dioxide, and our nerve system, which is our brain, spinal cord, and nerves. They help us move and feel pain. We also learned about the water cycle, which is when lakes, rivers, and more get really hot and they evaporate into the sky. And we also learned that when they are in the sky, they condense into clouds. And when they're full, they precipitate into bodies of water, which is a collection. And we do PE too, which we start off by running, and later in the year we are tested for push-ups and sit-ups. And we also do extracurricular things like sports. I did basketball and football. Basketball was fun, and so was football. Thank you. That's it.
I can't believe he had that whole thing memorized. All right, our youngest students. Silas Hernandez representing 6th grade. Come on up.
Good evening, Acton Agua Dulce community. My name is Silas Hernandez, and I am a 6th grade student at High Desert School. One of my favorite experiences this year was attending the Catalina Island Marine Institute trip. I really loved getting the chance to learn about marine science in a hands-on way while spending time with my classmates. It was exciting to explore a new place, participate in activities, and learn outside of a regular classroom setting. It is definitely something I'll remember from 6th grade. I also really enjoy having rotating classes because every part of the day feels different and interesting. I like learning from different teachers and getting to move between classes. Another thing I enjoy is being involved in sports because it helps students stay active, work together, and build friendships. I also like participating in handbells because it is fun to create music as a group and learn something unique. 6th grade at High Desert has been a great experience, and I'm thankful for all the opportunities our school provides. Thank you for listening.
All right, moving on up. Noah Haneke representing our 7th graders.
Good evening, my name is Noah Haneke and I'm a 7th grader at High Desert. I'm here to tell you why I love attending our school district. Going into 7th grade, I had the ability to take not only 1 but 2 electives each semester, allowing me to explore different career paths and skills like culinary with Miss Alfred, which I loved, and exercising my Spanish with Miss Seymour. Being an athlete, having the ability to play a large variety of sports with my friends in the school league was super fun. And to top it all off, when it comes to academics, I was given the option to take advanced classes to challenge me and prepare me for high school. I also loved the trip to the LA Science Center. That was super fun too. I am proud to be a Hawk.
Awesome job. And Noah was part of our first place boys soccer team for our school, as well as when he said they did a cow eye dissection at the 7th grade field trip. I'm a little weirded out by it, but all right. Last up, Miss Maya Saba Frudiger. She is our ASB Vice President.
Good evening, Acton Agua Dulce Council. I'm Maya Saba-Furtiger, and like what Ms. Van Orm said, I am the Vice President of High Desert School, and I am here to talk about our 8th grade highlights. So for me, I think my favorite thing about 8th grade is definitely the trips that we went on. We went to the Museum of Tolerance this year, and unlike the past 8th graders, we got to see the Anna Frank exhibit, which was definitely probably my favorite part of the Museum of Tolerance. I also love the opportunities at High Desert. I love that I was able to participate in talent shows and go to STEAM nights and family game nights. It's definitely a great way to spend time with your family and friends. Also, I love the sports that we were able to play. When I was in 5th grade, I was able to join volleyball, which I never knew I was able to play until I played for 4 years and finally made varsity last year, thanks to Miss Vaughton. Also, soccer, I never knew I wanted to play soccer, and the only reason I didn't want to play soccer is that I couldn't run, so I decided to be goalkeeper. So I never knew I was able to play these sports, and thanks to High Desert School, I was able to find out that I was able to play these sports and enjoy sports I never knew I was able to enjoy. Also, I'd also like to say a great thanks to Miss Alfred and Miss Van Ornum for trusting me and allowing me to speak here in front of you all tonight. Thank you, and have a great evening.
All right. So they pretty much covered all of the major highlights. This presentation is available on the website for everybody, so I'm just going to skip ahead. if I can make it work. So we've had dodgeball and a new chess tournament. We had battle bots this year, which was really fun. Lots of community partnerships. Thank you to Vasquez High School for our new gardening boxes. So we partnered with them to build these, and we're going to have a gardening class coming up. Mental health is a huge part. We're really increasing enrollment in those parent workshops and helping our parents. In addition, Medal of Honor, they talked about, we have our 8th grade mentors. That's a huge highlight for us. These were our goals last year, where we introduced double electives, our STEAM rotations for 5th and 6th grade. We really focused on math this year, mental health workshops, and increasing our love of reading in the library. The red and the blue combined those are positive things, so these are student surveys. Students are generally happy on our campus, and they feel like they're safe and it's a good place to learn. In addition, we're still exploring professional conferences and expanding our horizons outside of the High Desert campus so that we can bring all those great ideas back. We also go to the AVID conference, and this is a super fun. Coach Perez actually was Mr. Roper, and everybody had a secret underground spirit day for all the staff. The kids thought they were quite funny. Just lots of community events. 4th grade roadshow is always a highlight. The kids love coming to the school, and sometimes we have trouble sending them back on the bus. They want to stay. In addition, we're a California Schools to Watch, so we continue to go to the Schools to Watch program. We have Medal of Honor speakers connecting with different presenters. We even have a Career Day presenter here, he's here tonight with his son, and he'll be presenting tomorrow. So thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Concerts are always a big hit. There's a picture of Lex. We sent a student to the LA County Spelling Bee. So Lex went and faced off against, I don't even know how many, a lot of other schools in LA County, and he did fantastic. I know he was super nervous, but he stuck through it and showed up, and it was amazing. So good job, Lex. And then Arts Day, we have lots of field trips that they talked about, enrichment activities, tons of enrichment activities, including we made our first appearance at Science Olympiad since before COVID. So that was our first in-person appearance, and they partnered up with, they palled around for the day with Vasquez High School, which was fun. So. Athletics, we've talked about lots of firsts this year. We brought home 3 championship trophies. So super excited about that. And we have 3 students competing in the rodeo right now. And I want to just end with our goals for next year. So our theme for next year is piece by piece, we are building a masterpiece. And so we're really going to focus on the connection and how important every single individual is. We're going to be doing leveled groups, small group instruction, really working on those student-led pieces. And so that's how we'll end tonight. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you to the High Desert team that's here tonight. They're fantastic. Thank you, students. And I think I need Lex's number to tutor my 8-year-old twin boys, but we can talk about that later.
Right.
Thank you all.
All right, can we go ahead and loop with comments?
Amazing. I'm so impressed that I want to go back to High Desert. I am so excited to see what you guys do with High Desert, and I love how you guys have put, this district is very much, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it, and I love how to see people putting into it to get more out of it. I'm just so impressed, and I'm so excited, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing everything you're doing. It's just absolutely a masterclass on how to run a school. I mean, you've done such amazing things there. Yeah, thank you for everything you're doing. You're making Raina's job really easy.
We're trying. Thank you.
Thank you for a great presentation. And this is a product of a great staff that you have at High Desert. So I want to thank all the staff, because this is your work. So I appreciate that. And when you mentioned about the therapists and the counselors, they're a vital component of the school district in each site. So I hope that we can find the funds to continue that, because it's very important. So I think, I'm sure we can probably work that out. To the students who presented, thank you for sharing your experiences. To Lex, congratulations on your achievements in spelling. I'm a bad speller myself, so that's a great accomplishment. wasn't for ChatGPT, I'd be in a world of problems, right? Also, thank you for your sharing your experiences as well. And you mentioned something about soccer, and it brought me back to an old memory where I played soccer for one day. I was in the Army, and my buddy said, hey, we need another person to play with, to be a team. And I said, okay, I'll play. I never knew you do not stop running, right? So at the end of the day, I just stayed at one section. I wasn't even the goalie, but I just stayed there. I said, if the ball comes to me, I'll just deal with it. But that's the last time I ever played soccer, so thanks for sharing.
Again, it starts at the top and it works its way down, and your leadership and their leadership is what becomes of these kids, and they're all presenting really well. Vasquez is lucky to get them. Thank you all for everything you do.
I knew when we had High Desert on the agenda that you were going to bring it, because you do, you always do. High Desert just brings it all the time, and I was very much looking forward to this presentation because I knew it was going to be fantastic, and you just blew my mind all over again, from the way that you put the slides together to the way your staff and your students show up, just top notch every single time. To our students, you guys, you're the reason that we do what we do, so thank you very much for showing up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up to school every day. Thank you for being leaders on your campus. Just by being here, I can tell that you take pride in your school, you take pride in your campus, you take pride in yourselves and in your family for showing up day after day. Each of you are leading such a different aspect of High Desert. So thank you for just being who you are and showing up. And to the staff, I see a couple of staff members here. I know there's many of you, and thank you for doing what you do day in and day out, year after year, truly making a difference in everybody's lives. I will comment on, because I have to pull up the ADA, when you see ADA go up and you see test scores go up, that's not an accident and that's not a coincidence. That is a correlation. There's a reason that the test scores are going up, because kids are showing up. So when we hear time after time, meeting after meeting in the education subcommittee, when we had a report of the ADA happening throughout the district, and High Desert is continually rising to the occasion, and we set a bar here and High Desert goes here, and we set the bar here and High Desert goes here. We set the bar on chronic absenteeism, and you lowered that thing to the ground. That is fantastic. That was a crazy stat. You truly are teaching to the whole student at High Desert. You're teaching to the social emotional, you're teaching to the kids that love to learn and to read, you're teaching to the sports. And it's not an accident that when Autumn gives her reports and we are having championship after championship and first time for this and first time for that, that's not an accident or a coincidence either. Those are in the sports that we have starting when they're younger. So when you start volleyball at 5th grade, and kids that didn't know that they could play volleyball or soccer, and then all of a sudden we're building the sports for Vasquez, and hey, that wins championships, it's because we're starting that correlation at a younger age. And it's just fantastic, and watching it all come together and getting excited for where it's going from there. We're setting the bar higher and higher, and you're meeting it every single time. High Desert is a true gem for our district and our community, and our community as a whole going out into the Antelope Valley. You're proving yourself, tiny district proving yourself all over the place. So staff, families, students, Michelle, the district who supports this school, I'm just in awe. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for all of your support, and thank you everyone again for coming. Like, they are the reason that I do what I do. So thank you, everyone.
We just got an announcement in that the Vasquez boys volleyball team just won the CIF championship.
That is fantastic. You heard it here first, folks. Are we good to move on? I'm so happy. That is awesome. Congratulations, boys volleyball. That's fantastic. Congratulations, Vasquez. When I heard that the game was tonight, I almost skipped. I'm not going to lie, I almost skipped tonight. I was told to just cancel the board meeting. I kind of wish we would have. So if we're good to move on, we can let our students go if you want. Hang out if you want to. You're more than welcome. We love having you here. But if you guys want to, there's... Okay. Moving on, E, Facilities Finance Subcommittee Report.
Facilities and Finance has not met since the last meeting. We will be meeting on May 26th at 4 p.m. here.
Do you guys want to come in and sit down? I know, that's... All right, so the Education Subcommittee, we have not met either. Our next meeting is on the 28th at 4 o'clock. The 28th at 4 o'clock. Policy and Management Subcommittee Report.
Yeah, we haven't met, so our next meeting, I believe, is the same date, the 28th.
You guys meet at 5 o'clock.
5
right?
o'clock, yes.
Beautiful. Submissions.
There are no submissions for this evening. Thank you so much.
All right, moving on, 9A, approval of consent calendar items 8B through 8M. I'll move it in. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. If there are any items within consent agenda that you'd like me to elaborate on, provide information, please let me know.
Discussion? Hearing none, call for question. All those in favor?
Mascon, aye.
Jesus, aye.
Mays, aye.
Brianna Taxoni, aye. 10A, Personnel Report 25-26.14. I'll move it in. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Dr. Sahakian?
I lost track. We're on the PAR, correct?
Yes.
Sorry. Yes, there are no changes to the PAR report this evening. If I can make a quick announcement regarding the PAR, trustees. I guess it's an announcement of, exciting things this evening, clearly. An exciting announcement for Meadowlark Elementary. Please join us in welcoming our new principal to our district. Miss Noemi Orduna is here with us. Thank you so much. She is a seasoned educator and administrator. She brings valuable elementary, middle, and high school leadership experience to our community. We're excited to welcome her aboard and look forward to her positive impact with our students, staff, and families. This monitor's here, but Ms. Orduna, it's nice to see you.
I'm over
You're over there.
I
Thank
just
you.
wanted to say good evening, members of the Board of Education, superintendent, staff. Students are amazing, families and community members. It's an honor to be presented here for approval as the new principal of Meadowlark Elementary. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not just grateful, but so excited to join this community and just look forward to working alongside of all of you. Thank you all.
Can I ask a question? What drew you to our community?
So I have heard about your community from someone that came from the Pasadena Unified School District. And so that's Dr. Sahakian. So I've followed him in his career and also had the pleasure of working with a lot of people that speak very highly of the community. And I'm in a place where I feel that I am in the next step to serve, someone that can really match my passion, which is obviously I came to the right board meeting because everything that I saw today matches where I am. And so I think I bring some unique gifts that really match up to what your district is already doing, from bringing Avid Elementary to one of the elementary schools into the elementary school that I served in, and then a passion for just seeing students grow and knowing that you're a part of that, because that's what happened to me. I'm a product of public education with partnerships with community members. My family was able to support me, and I'm not sure I would have made it without committed educators, the spirit of which I see here. And so I'm so excited to be here and to learn. I mean, I think I knew maybe 1% now that I'm here. And I was just so excited to be here. Everything that I heard today just spoke to the things that I'm passionate about. So I'm just very grateful and excited.
Thank you. We're excited you're here.
Thank you and welcome.
Yes, thank you. Welcome.
Meadowlark does have a place in my heart. So you are inheriting like one of the most fantastic schools. It's adorable. The kids are adorable. My first real, I had some teenage jobs, but my first real job was at Meadowlark when I was 18 years old, playing with kids on the playground. Definitely one of our gems, Meadowlark and Little Owls. I went to school here. So when you talk about people that are invested and have a passion for our district and our kids, every single person here has kids in our district, or I don't have kids in the district, but I was a kid in the district. So we're incredibly passionate about what we do as a board, and we're incredibly excited to have you. I really, really, really hope you're here for the long run. Stick around. The only place that this is the only place you will ever feel that heart for small town life, small town district, big dreams. So we're glad you're part of it. So we'll go ahead and vote on the part unless anybody else has anything. We'll go ahead and vote. Or call for question. All those in favor?
Mascon, aye.
De Sousa.
Mays, aye.
Brianna Taxoni, aye. Welcome aboard. Declaration of need for fully qualified educators. I'll move it in. Can I get a second?
Thank you. So some housekeeping items, 10B and 10C. For declaration of need for fully qualified educators, we are required to submit this annual declaration that we will facilitate a diligent search when it comes to recruitment for fully prepared teachers in the areas for anticipated need for the upcoming school year 26-27. Those positions are actually listed in the attachment to the board agenda.
Thank you. Discussion? Call for question. All those in favor?
Mascon, aye.
De Sousa.
Mays, aye.
Brianna Taxoni, aye. C, annual statement of need, 30-day substitute and designated subjects, career technical education, 30-day substitute teaching permits. I'll move it in. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. This annual form allows a district to use emergency permit holders when there are no credentialed persons available for hire.
Discussion? Hearing none, call for question.
Mascon, aye.
De Sousa.
Klaus, aye.
Mays, aye.
Brianna Taxoni, aye. 11A, presentation, Vasquez High School Peer Health Advocates Program. Thank you guys for being so patient.
And while they're kind of getting themselves situated, I'd like to go ahead and first and foremost thank Ms. Carrie Wright, our district nurse, right there with an injured arm. Hope you're feeling better, Ms. Carrie. She brought this forward from the Department of Public Health. She's always looking for opportunities and bringing them my way and saying, you know what, this is fantastic. We need to do this for Vasquez. We need an advisor. And who better to take this on but Ms. Charnika Amel, Ms. Charlie, as she's commonly referred as, one of the social worker team members assigned to Vasquez. So thank you, and they have a fantastic presentation on the Peer Health Advisory Council. Here we go.
Good evening, everyone. As Dr. Sahakian said, my name is Sharniqua Immel. I am honored to serve as the advisor for the Vasquez High School Peer Health Advocates, which, like Dr. Sahakian said, is a new program to us through the LA County Department of Public Health in partnership with our district nurse, Carrie Wright. This program works to empower students to become leaders that promote health, wellness, and informed decision-making amongst their peers, and we are grateful for the ongoing partnership with the LA County Department of Public Health. These students went through a competitive application and interview process to be selected for the program, and in its inaugural year, attended weekly meetings and trainings, planned and participated in outreach events on topics like bullying prevention and healthy relationships, and have researched health topics affecting teens and their peers. Recently in April, these students attended a leadership conference at CSULA's campus, and tonight we'll be presenting on their advocacy project on the topic of cannabis use in adolescents and sharing additional resources that are available to their peers, our families, and our students. Additionally, I would like to take a moment to recognize their commitment, resilience, and time management skills. Several of our students over the past 2 weeks have handled and balanced a rigorous AP testing schedule, one of which who completed 5 AP exams and still made time to practice and show up for their peers and support each other. Okay. Their dedication to both their academic success and this program has been inspiring, and I will now pass it on to the peer health advocates of Vasquez High.
Hello everyone, my name is Cassidy Horton and I'm here today representing Vasquez High School's new club, Peer Health Advocates, along with Perla Gomez, Hannah Whitmire, Leighton Dixon, Leslie Medina, Sarai Monroe, Jasmine Ariano, and Jasmine C. Today we will be discussing what cannabis is along with the potential dangerous impact it may have on adults and adolescents.
In a survey sent out via Google Forms at the beginning of the semester, 70% of students agree that drug abuse starts with peer pressure. If a student were offered drugs at a social event, it would be hard to refuse. A lot of students answered kind of like mixed match with their answers because we feel that they are afraid of getting consequence for answering honestly, and we believe that why it would be hard to refuse because peers would pressure them into using drugs as a coping mechanism for mental health issues or to relax.
Cannabis is a common flower containing chemicals like THC and CBD. Cannabis is harvested, dried, trimmed, and stored, and it can come in multiple colors like red, green, lime, purple, and blue. THC is the main chemical compound in cannabis and it is highly addictive. As individuals begin to consume higher dosage of cannabis, the body begins to reject it completely, which leads to them greening out. Greening out is a term used to describe when individuals throw up all of the cannabis they have consumed, and when they throw up, they also throw up their stomach acid, which could lead to potential throat infections. Throat infections is one of many side effects of cannabis, and some of the ones are mental health decline, physical health decline, neurological development problems, heart problems, and it could lead to severe anxiety and depression. Some of the many street names for cannabis are dope, marijuana, grass, pot, ganja, and when individuals are under the influence of cannabis, they call themselves geeked, faded, stoned, on cloud 9, and in the past few years, cannabis has become a much bigger problem because it is much easily accessible, and the people who are selling the cannabis make it seem like it's a safe thing to do by making it into common snacks that individuals like gummies, brownies, and other candies like that. And it is very important for us to understand what these things are being called in the streets so we can know what individuals are talking about.
Signs of cannabis use in adolescents. Behaviors to look out for include them acting in a way that is considered abnormal for them or using new, interesting vocabulary. Sometimes they experience severe mood swings and often have coordination problems due to a lack of focus. They usually have bloodshot eyes and have the urge to eat outside of normal hours. One should be attentive to a pungent smell on their clothing and other belongings. Typically, if they hang out with friends who use cannabis, it is most likely that they will too, so it's important to be vigilant.
The short-term effects of cannabis use in adolescents can show issues such as reduced coordination, difficulty thinking and problem solving, problems with memory and learning, as well as accelerated thinning of the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for judgment and decision making. A study done shown that adolescents who used cannabis once or twice a month showed more depression-like symptoms, higher anxiety levels, as well as more impulsive behavior. Near daily users were almost 4 times as likely to have poor grades in school. With long-term use, adolescent users of cannabis can face risks and effects such as development of mental health disorders such as anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, and even psychosis in some cases. Developing cannabis use disorder, which is more known as an addiction to using cannabis. One can face increased risk of stroke, heart disease, or other vascular diseases, as well as lung tissue damage from smoking cannabis. Findings suggest that the consequences of long-term adolescent marijuana use can extend into the midlife. Heavy adolescent marijuana use showed to increase the likelihood of being unmarried, living below the poverty line, as well as feeling more anxious in the midlife.
Possible school consequences. If your child is caught at school with cannabis, the first consequence is home being called. After that, they will most likely be suspended. But parents and students should keep in mind that multiple suspensions could later on lead to expulsion. Your student will also be removed from school activities such as dances, sports, and school programs. They will also be given supportive programs such as substance use treatment and referral for mental health therapy. Legalities. If your child is under 18 and is caught with cannabis, then that would be considered an infraction. They will later be given drug counseling and will need to complete 10 to 20 hours of community service. If a child is between the age of 18 to 20, then they will also be given drug counseling and will need to complete community service. They will also be given a $100 fine. If your child has a medical card with them, then these consequences won't apply to them. The legal age in California to consume and purchase cannabis is 21 and older. Now, if your child is caught with a suspicious amount of cannabis, then authorities could later be further involved for investigation due to the suspicion of them selling it or giving it out.
Withdrawal symptoms. Within several hours to days since last use, heavy marijuana users show decrements in attention, memory, executive function, time estimation, and psychometer speed. Within the first week, marijuana users perform worse controls on measure of verbal learning, working memory, above and beyond the effects attributed to age. Specifically, adolescent marijuana users learn fewer words after approximately 3 to 5 days of abstinence, along with psychosocial loss of functioning and continued regulation loss of emotions. Marijuana users who report increased anxiety, irritability, physical symptoms, negative moods, and decreased appetite are more likely to begin pursuing methods to overcome addiction as a way to combat such dreadful symptoms.
How to overcome addiction. Relapse is going back to using marijuana after quitting, and it's a part of recovery, and there's no success in treatment in child rehabilitation. Some therapies for help are CBT, which helps change negative thinking, motivational interviewing, which builds personal motivation, and family and group therapy, which provides support. Treatment can happen in inpatient programs where someone lives at a center, outpatient programs where someone stays at home, school programs like therapy and therapy outside of school to help avoid relapse. Teens are at a higher risk because of peer pressure and stress, but recovery improves with strong support and staying in treatment. To overcome marijuana addiction, it's important to understand triggers, build coping skills, stay connected to others, and replace unhealthy habits and learn from relapse instead of giving up.
Some ways to help your child could be by comforting them, like being with them during hard times. Also educating your child on the outcomes of long-term cannabis use, helping them find programs and resources. The school counselors will also give you the resources you need. Being supportive of your child and their treatment, listening non-judgmentally to your child's needs. Also being patient and help them set a goal. Encouraging coping mechanisms like movement and journaling may also be helpful for your child. If your child is experiencing difficulty related to cannabis or substance use, support and resources are available. SAMHSA National Helpline 1-800-662-HELP
855-374-4357. Partnership to End Addiction, 1-855-378-4373.
We have. Is there any questions?
Time to comment? Yeah. No questions, but thank you so much, and I'm super happy that you're all involved in this. I think one of the unintended consequences of the legalization of marijuana is that it made it brought it that much closer to our youth and made it so much more accessible. And although we all love technology, they've managed to put it into all sorts of form factors that make it easy to hide, easy to get a hold of. When I was a kid, if someone used it at school, like, you knew, the whole school knew. And now it's too easy to hide. So the education's going to be really important for our youth to understand the effects of it at an early age. So thank you for everything you're doing, and keep at it.
Thank you for your being advocates. This is a very important subject, and we don't have too many advocates out there, especially for cannabis. Being a police officer for almost 25 years now, I've seen a lot of negative effects that cannabis has. Usually it's called the gateway drug for a reason. But most importantly, a lot of this cannabis is laced out there with fentanyl and some other illegal drugs. And I can't tell you how many times I've been to calls where people have overdosed, even young ones, because they didn't know what was in the actual marijuana. So thank you for being advocates. I appreciate that.
Thank you all for taking the time to come here and being the advocates, as he said. We really appreciate everything you're doing.
I do second everything that my fellow board members said. Hannah, thank you for your email to the board prior to coming here. It's always nice to hear from students, so thank you for reaching out to us. Thank you all for having a positive leadership role on your campus. Some of you, the mayor of Meadowlark, have had a leadership role since you were young. It's really, really nice to see you here. It's nice to see you all here, and keep being that positive leader on your campus. I think that just seeing this group of kids reaching out and going the extra mile for the health of your fellow students, you guys are going to go far. So thank you very much for doing what you do, and keep it up. Enjoy your summer break. And I hope we get a presentation from you next year on something new. I hope your group grows. Exciting to see your new clubs. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on. Was there more? You guys can go ahead.
Yeah, we just had photos to share. We had multiple outreach events that we did this year, such as Unity Day, Gratitude Day, Denim Day. We got announced at the Homecoming Pep Rally. At CSU LA, we went to a leadership conference where students were able to learn how to administer Narcan, about mental health and drug abuse. We had our Christmas celebration all together. We did a video for MTV where we talked about healthy relationships with red or green flags, where students could choose whether they thought one of the questions we asked them was a red or green flag in someone. And that's about it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you for your time to listen to our presentation. We worked really hard on this. Thank you to Ms. Carey for everything you've done and bringing the program to Vasquez. And thank you for all you do for us.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
The kids really are my favorite part of board meetings. Is that because you only have one arm? All right, we'll go ahead and move on. 11B, approval memorandum of understanding Coastline Student Driver Safety Grant. I'll move this in. Can I get a George? Dr. Sahakian.
Thank you. We're on a momentum with, fantastic opportunities for our students that we've seen tonight, and it continues here for our district. Fantastic things. Thank you, President Taxoni, for bringing this to my attention when you attended the CSBA conference most recently. An exciting opportunity to bring driver's education course to Vasquez for students who are interested, eligible at that right age, and most importantly, free of charge, as this agency has received a large a grant, and if we sign this MOU, will be part of their scope of work and support for driver's ed to Vasquez. Thank you.
Hearing no other discussion, when I did first hear of this, I was like, this would be so cool for our small community. So Dr. Sahakian, I want to thank you, because when I bring wild ideas to you, you dial it down and make it happen. So thank you so much for, I just rattle off a bunch of stuff and then you bring it to the board and you make it happen for our kids. So thank you so much for going the extra mile for this one. This isn't ed code. This isn't a California state standard. This is fantastic. And you're giving thumbs up too. Is that? Thank you, Dr. Chamberlain. This is going to be something very cool, and we are constantly bringing new ideas and new opportunities to our kids. So this is just one more thing for working for our students. So thank you very much for working for this. Call for question? Sorry.
And Coastline did my kids, driving both of them, and they did a great job, so I'm glad to see them here. Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen the way that kid drives. I'm just teasing. Call for question. All those in favor?
Klaus, aye.
Mascot aye.
This aye.
Mays aye.
Brianna Taxoni, aye. Another presentation. 12A, presentation Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District Transportation Plan for 2025-26.
Thank you. It's an annual requirement for any LEA to go ahead and provide and submit a transportation plan. This is our 25-26 transportation plan, which will cover services and a budget overview. And Mr. Mora, Director of MOT, will go ahead and do the honors. Mr. Mora.
Good evening, everyone. So tonight I'm going to present the transportation plan for the 25 and 26. Strategic overview, ensuring equivalent, safe home-to-school transportation for all students with focus on priority population students with special needs. Core services categories: general education, standard home-to-school routes from K-12 within establishments, special needs, supported for students with disabilities, with IEPs and 504s. Under applicable support, target free services for low-income English learners to ensure equity. General eligibility priority, primary goal to provide home-to-school transportation for K-12 to TK-12 to students. Priority group, 1 student transporting kindergartens K-12. Safety, students facing dangerous traffic environment conditions. Economic priority, low-income families and independent pupils. Specialized education support, IEP 501s, transportation provided at no cost for all students. Door-to-door specific site services, training professional drivers and attendants, coordination with regional SELPA teams. Undeductible pupil equivalent, ensuring that socio-economic status is never a barrier to school attendance. The district provides no-cost transportation to English learners, students with low income, foster youth, and homeless students. the 2025-26 expenditure plan. Classified salaries was $413,732.28. Employee benefits was $92,776.74. Books and supplies was $19,764.64. Servants and other operation expenditures was $160 with 557 with 40 cents, with a total of $686,837 with 6 cents. Budget highlights: $686,887 was an annual expenditure. Established state reimbursement is 60%. It's going to be a $412,102 with 23 cents. Expenditure allocation: the salary was 60%, services operating is 23%, benefits is 14%, other supplies is 3%, with a majority of 74% of transaction budget. Any questions?
When are we getting all the new buses?
Hopefully before school starts. Yeah, June or July.
Actually, I have a question. How many bus drivers do we currently have?
Right now, we have 4 bus drivers.
And are we going to have 4 next year?
Basically, next year, we're planning, we have 4 regular bus drivers and 1 sub.
Okay.
We'll have the same amount.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Just one quick question. The estimated state reimbursement, is that always capped at 60%, or can it go higher, or is that just standard?
It just depends on the budget for the fiscal year, so that could actually move as far as a target. So just based on 25, 26, that's the cap for.
Have you seen like a steady increase, or does it kind of vary?
It varies from year to year.
Okay, thank you.
I don't have anything. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, as always.
Thank you.
All right, moving on, 12B, discussion informational, LACO third quarter 2025-26 fiscal year, results of site visits, reviews, and uniform complaint data. Dr. Sahakian.
Thank you. So this third quarter covers the months of January 1st through March 31st. The Williams reports indicates 0 complaints received during that period of time in the following 3 areas: instructional materials, facilities, teacher vacancies, as well as teacher misassignments. So 0 for all 3 categories for third quarter.
Fantastic. Discussion? Hearing none. 12C, approval resolution number 2025-26.16 to order biennial governing board election. I'll go ahead and move it in. Can I get a second?
Thank you. So the resolution orders the governing board election to be held on November 3rd of this year, 2026. The LA County Registrar Recorder's Office will perform all the duties related to the election process for holding the elections, while the district incurs the cost for the November 3rd election. And so this resolution provides the okay and permission for the LEA to move forward with elections for November 3rd.
Thank you. Discussion? Hearing none, call for question.
Klaus, aye.
Mascot, aye.
Jesus, aye.
Mays, aye.
Brianna Taxoni, aye. 13A, second read and adoption, board policy BP 6146.1, high school graduation requirements. I'll move it in. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
At our April board meeting, Ms. Erdrich, Director for HR, she provided the highlights in terms of changes, addendums, amendments to the board policy that you see here, high school graduation requirements. Does anybody need a refresher in terms of the highlights? They are attached to the May 14th agenda.
Discussion? Hearing none, call for...
Is it the recommendation of the education subcommittee that we approve this policy?
Yes. George?
Yeah.
Anything else? All right, call for question. All those in favor?
Klaus, aye.
Mask on aye.
Jesus, aye.
Mays, aye.
Brianna Taxoni, aye. 13B, second reading adoption, Board Bylaw BB 9322, agenda meeting minutes. I'll move it in. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Dr. Salakian?
Again, Ms. Erdrich provided highlights at the April board meeting. The highlights in terms of CSBA recommended language or any amendments by the district are attached to the board agenda this evening. Thank you.
Discussion?
What is the recommendation of the policy subcommittee?
I recommend we approve this one.
Thank you.
A call for question. All those in favor?
Klaus, aye.
Mask on aye.
Jesus, aye.
Mays, aye.
Brianna Taxoni, aye. 14, board comments. Take it away, Lester.
She's not here? I do. All right, well, we had intended to announce her, but I don't, where's she at? Not here. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, fellow board members and community members, it is my pleasure to introduce Kendra Faltzgraff, a proud graduate of Vasquez High School and a valued member of our community. Kendra earned her Juris Doctorate from the William S. Boyd School of Law at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, with a focus in intellectual property. She received highest honors for her outstanding pro bono work supporting our community. Please join me in welcoming Kendra, but she's not here. Congratulations, Kendra.
Congratulations, Kendra, and congrats, Ken. Well, job well done. And thank you, everybody, for attending tonight. And hopefully we'll see you at the subcommittee meetings and the next board meeting.
Thank you all for coming. Congratulations again to the volleyball team. Good work, ladies from the softball team. You had a good run. Welcome, new Meadowlark principal. We're glad to have you here. Sorry, I forgot your name, but it's okay. Noemi. Okay. And yeah, thank you all for being here.
She's doing a school presentation the next board meeting.
All right. Love to see it. All right, I'm done.
All right. Yes, huge congratulations to Kendra. Not only is she incredibly smart and beautiful, she's kind and talented and funny. So big congratulations to Kendra and to her parents, because, you know, kids don't just end up like that. She's a fantastic kid. So congratulations. The music performance, I was not able to go, but I have heard from several people how fantastic it was. I heard about the baby shark. I heard it was amazing. So if anybody has videos, I've only seen pictures. If anybody has videos of baby shark, I really want to see it. Thank you to Meadowlark High Desert and to the staff there for putting that together. Very cool. Miss Emma, I heard you did a fantastic job. So thank you. I was able to attend a Vasquez baseball game. I've been kind of absent from sports this year, and it's not by choice, but I was able to attend baseball by default and see our fantastic coaches and baseball players, Coach Sparks, Van Ornum, and our T's on the varsity field. Very cool to watch them play. So thanks, kids, for playing sports that we get to go watch, because that's, you know, what else would we do with our lives? It's definitely fun to watch them. Congratulations to volleyball. Congratulations to ASB on your car show. It was really fun to be there. I was able to attend that one. My daughter entered her car, so that was a very cool. Thank you for putting that on so she could do her first car show and bring the community together. There were some really cool things. There was a big giant bus there. It was very cool. Fun event. So good job ASB on that event. I'm really looking forward to the end of the year activities. I'm going to try to make it to as many things as possible. Looking forward to the graduations, and I know this is a huge busy time for staff. Take a breath. There's something like 13 days left or 15 days, something crazy. So take a breath. We're almost there, and then you're rolling your eyes and your whole head. I know it's the busiest time of year for staff, so it's not like, okay, we get to take a break. It is the busiest time of year, but it's exciting, so I'm excited for it. We'll go ahead and move on to 15 calendar. We have 3 more regular board meetings of this school year, and then we take July off, May 28th, June 11th, June 25th. Are we going to have board members? Is everybody here for Lester? When is your last meeting? So you're not here for June 11 or 25th? Okie dokie. And then you're taking off. That's very exciting for you. Future agenda items. We don't have anything on our future agenda items. Do we have anything that we need to add? Moving on, adjournment. I motion to adjourn our meeting at, what time is it? 9:01 p.m. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Was that George?
Yeah.
Discussion? Hearing none, call for question.
Klaus, I.
Mascot.
D'Souza.
Mazak.
Brianna Taxoni, aye.